detecting and reducing sewage and drainage issues with Sewr.
Introduction. The sewage management system in Dumaguete City has been challenged with serious problems. Due to the city's steady development and poor infrastructure, untreated wastewater flows into neighboring canals, posing a severe risk to the environment and public health. As such, Dumaguete City is prone to many possible sewage overflows due to the rain and other external factors. The goal of this project is to develop a mobile application for users to receive alerts on possible flood risks based on their current location. The application will contain modules that will collect crowdsourced data with corresponding information such as date, time, and location, as well as an attached image. A module with a risk map containing the current areas that are flooded or have drainage issues in Dumaguete City will also be provided. Users may also see real-time weather and temperature data, as well as a collection of the most recent and relevant reports. Reports will be deactivated after 72 hours to ensure relevance and timeliness. Work breakdown structure. So in our work breakdown structure, we have 5 main modules, namely authentication, edit user profile, create new report, browse reports, and risk map. Under authentication, there are 2 sub-modules called login and registration. And under browse reports, there are 3 sub-modules called view all reports, view reports by distance, view reports by date. And lastly, under risk map, there are 2 sub-modules called view all areas and search specific reports. The system will be a mobile application that will run on an Android phone. Under user reports, a user will be able to submit a new report that an area has been flooded or has drainage issues. The user profile will have the user's first name, last name, and email. The browse reports category will allow the user to either browse all reports, browse reports on a specific date, or browse reports depending on how close they are to the user. Finally, the user can view flooded areas in the risk map category and also search for reports which have the same location or title as the query. Hardware and software resource requirements. Minimum requirements for development. Minimum hardware system requirements. Android mobile device. The device should be capable of running APK files. Operating system. 32-bit Windows 7 and above. Processor. 12th Gen Intel or later. Read-only memory or RAM. 16 GB. Storage space. 256 GB. Central Processing Unit. CPU. i5 core and above. Hardware requirements used by developers during development. Personal computer. OS 64-bit Windows 10 or later. Read-only memory 16 GB. Processor 12th Gen Intel Core i7 12700, 2100 MHz, 12 core, 20 logical processors. GPU NVIDIA T400 4GB. Storage 462 GB. Android phone tester. Android 8 Oreo or later. Minimum software requirements during development. Minimum software system requirements. Operating system, Windows 10 or later. Developer tools, Microsoft Visual Studio Code, Android Studio SDK. Relational database management, Supabase. Minimum requirements for implementation. Hardware requirement, mobile phone. Operating system, Android 8, Oreo or later. RAM, 4 GB.
This is the development schedule of the Sewr mobile application as presented through a Gantt chart. A total of 16 activities were conducted through a span of 15 weeks. The first week was reserved for conducting our research on our project. The second week was for organizing our user requirements. On the third week, we performed 3 activities simultaneously, creating our risk analysis and management, our work breakdown structure, and our project timeline. By the fourth week, we managed to create our minimum hardware and software specifications as well as our user requirements. By the fifth week, we designed our wireframe and our data flow diagram. By the sixth week, we designed our database, and by weeks 7 and 8, we managed to develop our database. Weeks 9 to 11 were reserved for back-end development, while week 12 was for front-end development. By weeks 13 and 14, we have managed to complete testing and debugging our app, and finally, on week 15, we managed to deploy our mobile application.
User requirements definition. User functional requirements for general users and system administrator. UFR1. The user shall be able to submit their credentials and have it authenticated and verified. UFR2. The user shall be able to submit a report. UFR3. The user shall be able to see reports made by other users. UFR4. The user shall be able to view and sort reports according to distance. UFR5. The user shall be able to view and filter out reports according to date. UFR6. The user shall be able to see a real-time map where reports are pinned. UFR7. The user shall be able to search for reports on certain location using the real-time map. UFR8. The user shall be able to see real-time temperature and weather data. User functional requirements for system administrator. UFRSA1. The system administrator shall be able to reject or approve user reports. System requirements specification. System functional requirements for general users and system administrator. SFR1. The system shall allow the user to submit their credentials, authenticate it, and verify it. SFR2. The system shall allow the user to submit a report. SFR3. The system shall allow the user to see reports made by other users. SFR4. The system shall allow the user to view and sort reports according to distance. SFR5. The system shall allow the user to view and filter out reports according to date. SFR6. The system shall allow the user to see a real-time map where reports are pinned. SFR7. The system shall allow the user to search for a report in specific locations using the real-time map. SFR8. The system shall allow the user to see real-time temperature and weather data. System functional requirements for system administrator. SFR-SA1. The system shall allow the system administrator to reject or approve user reports. Non-functional requirements. Accessibility. NFR1. The software shall be accessible to residents of Dumaguete City. Android only. NFR2. The system shall be limited to Android mobile devices only. Availability. NFR3. The system shall be available at all times. Customization. NFR4. The system shall allow the user to customize personal data. Data integrity. NFR5. The system shall ensure data accuracy and consistency. Ease of use. NFR6. The system shall be easy to use for both general user and admin user. Timeliness. NFR7. The system shall automatically mark reports as inactive after 78 hours. System evolution. The Sewr application is only ideal for the Dumaguete City area. The developers acknowledge the time constraints that the project has and are only able to create the initial systems. The developers have some recommendations for what future developers can do in order to improve the application. iOS availability. The current system is an Android-only application. The developers have limited time and resources to widen the current scope. Future evolutions may implement iOS support. Web application. The current system is an Android-only application. The developers are limited in time to widen the aspect of our application. Future evolutions should implement a web application. This enables users to use the application in platforms that support web browsing. Improved user interface. The current UI is basic and user-friendly but can be greatly improved. Automatically redirect users to permissions. The current application manually asks for user permissions each time the user enters the application. Real-time notifications. The current application does not collect user tokens to ensure notifications are sent when reports are approved by admins. This would enable users to be promptly notified as soon as possible.
The test line is as follows. The developers use the black box testing approach in testing the mobile application. The testers for the mobile application Sewr will be divided into two roles. One will receive the role of system admin, while the other one will receive the role of general user. The first set of tests will be done for the system admin role by the tester J. Siakia, while the second of tests will be done for the general user by our tester Reno B. Akukaro. The application testing was conducted online on December 6, 2024 until December 8, 2024. The goal of our test plan was to find bugs and check functionalities and whether it meets our user requirements. Our test plan focuses mostly on inputs and outputs, buttons, functionalities, and redirecting to different components. This is the testing of the general user test cases with our tester for the general user. So to begin with, we'll proceed with test case number 1, which would be user signup. So if you could show them our user signup. Okay, let's proceed with the credentials. Alright, so registration was successful. So proceeding with our next test case for login. So our user has managed to successfully log in. It's taking a little bit of time to load, but you can see here that the weather and temperature is displayed as expected. So let's proceed with checking the reports. So there's currently one report as showed in our test case. With creating our user report, so it was successfully added to our database. Next, we'll have him try out our risk map. So you can see there that there's already another pin from the previous report showed in our reports. And that's a total of our general user test cases for the testing part. This is testing of our editing of our user profile. So let's proceed. So our current user profile does not have a profile image. So the profile was updated successfully, as you can see right there. This is testing of our filter by date. So if you could show them. This would ask for a date. So it shows there December 15. Our filter would show all reports marked as active or inactive already by that date. So by December 15, we only had one report submitted in that day. This is the testing for the system administrator side for the mobile application Sewr. So we have here our system administrator tester, Jazel Akia, and she will be with us today as we run through the test cases. So first of all, Jazel will log into her system administrator account in Sewr.
I'm currently inputting my credentials. Um, okay. I am now logged in and it has showed me allocation access permission, which I will allow.
So if Jazel would look at the map, she would see that there are currently two pins active. That would show two red markers on the map.
Which is true because I see two pins as you can see, 1 and 2.
If Jazel would navigate to the reports tab, there should be a report entitled Rainy Day, which was submitted by our general user tester earlier in the day. If Jazel were to approve the report, it would show up as approved and then would show up as well on the map side. So if you could just approve the report for us.
So I will now press approve And I'm now redirecting to the Maps tab. As you can see, there are 3 pins already. Wait, hold on.
So that would be the testing side for the system administrator for the mobile application Sewr.